Good afternoon, everyone. According to my end of things here, we just went live. If Thank you for being here. I know that there's a memorial service going on for Charlie Kirk that is hard to miss. So I understand if you are catching this later, I would too, quite honestly, except that I have it set for third weekend, 2 o'clock. So we just proceeded knowing that time is a human construct and you can participate later and send that energy back to this live as we go along. So I do have a few people here, and I thank you so much for being here. If you can hear me and see me, would you give me a thumbs up or type 5 by 5 if you're not comfortable with emojis, and just let me know that YouTube hasn't played shenanigans yet, and we've got a good connection. Okay, thank you, Lee. Good. I've got people that can see and hear me. And my moderator, Tess, thank you for being here. I have at least one moderator here, and she'll text me if there's a problem. Okay. And again, I will not be offended if you choose to watch the Charlie Kirk Memorial rather than participating in our meditation. But I do think we have a very powerful topic to talk about. So I hope if you choose the memorial service right now, you come back and listen to the meditation at another time. So good. I'm glad. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. We have enough participants right now to make changes in our world. So, because we are told when people have focused intention and you're a group of 20 collective consciousnesses or more, you can make a change in reality. So that's part of what we're doing today. If this is your first time to join a meditation of mine, it may not proceed as in the way that you pictured it. I'll be just speaking as we go through. I'm going to welcome you. We're going to protect our energy, which is crucial to do, and state our intentions, and then get into the meditation and then conclude. It all takes about 30 minutes total, because part of what we do is the protection of energy. Previously, people were told don't do large group meditations. Your energy is often hijacked or transmuted for other purposes. Well, you can have a large group meditation, but you have to protect your energy. So I'm going to start that process right now. First of all, if you noticed in my announcement and welcomes, anytime I've mentioned the meditation, I mentioned that you are welcome if you plan to participate in positivity or if you want to just observe neutrally. In other words, I don't make any express or implied welcome to negative energy. That said, we know that sometimes there is some sent our way. So at this point, I don't want to give my energy a lot of negative energy attention. So let's just picture, and I'd like you to help me with it. We're going to picture any negative energy we're just going to bundle it up however you want to think of that bundle. It can be anything from a dirty diaper to a dandelion fluff, and we're going to send it to source, to the creator of all creators. We're going to the top of the food chain, guys, and sending that negative energy to be purified and repurposed and never used for negativity again. Just with that alone, we're making a small incremental change of positive energy for our plane of existence. So that is powerful by itself. So by my mentioning what we're going to do first, if you are here in negativity and you don't want your energy to be removed and sent, you can depart quietly. But if not, please picture negative energy that might be either in you, on you, attached to us, or being directed our way from any point of existence, parallel timelines, future negativity. We want any negative energy that's ever sent our way to be sent, to be purified, and then repurposed. So we're going to do that, and I'll close my eyes because I visualize better with my eyes closed. We're doing that in 3, 2, 1, now. Now, if even just that little element of the meditation didn't give you goosebumps, I'd be surprised. I know I feel them when I do that, because stating our intentions and protecting our energy is so very, very powerful and important. And we weren't taught how to do it. So I know we're like little kids learning these processes, but they're powerful even in their infancy stages as we're at with our energy work and things like that. So let's talk about protecting our energy. First of all, we want our intention as we put it out, because a meditation, as I run it, is simply focused intention, energy that's given of your own free will for a focused intention. And you're invited, if I mention any element in this meditation that does not align with your free will or how you want to do it, withhold that energy, absolutely. But you're going to give it freely of your own free will. And we want that energy to be protected, not just now, but forever, in perpetuity. So we're going to picture that energy that we give for our collective purpose today, that it's going to be encapsulated and just bulletproof for eternity. It can never be hijacked, transmuted, used for other purposes, or in any way other than what we're expressly giving it for today have any kind of use. So it's safe and directed as we wish today forever. Now, we also know that our personal energy can sometimes come under the focus of negativity, or, that we might be, if we're in any way making ourselves energetically vulnerable by this, we just want a shield of white, beautiful crystalline protection around us so that we can freely participate, donate any energy we choose to donate, know with peace in our hearts that it's going where we want it to go. And now, further than that, rather than thinking of the energy you're giving being something that you won't get back, my final intention for all of you participating, for myself, for this, any light workers anywhere, unless they wouldn't want this, and I can't imagine they wouldn't, we are going to be seeking and asking for from source for any energy we give out to be refilled as quickly as we give it out. So we're not going to be buckets that get poured out. We're going to be conduits that have no limit, because as fast as we can offer it, we just get to direct the flow. But the flow is permanent and has no limit. So picture it like that, your energy. So don't worry, when you leave here, you should not feel energetically like, even if you've offered up huge amounts of energy, you should not feel like you expended any, that you came back just as full, if not fuller, than you entered into the meditation. Okay. So now the next thing I want to talk about, we need to get ourselves ready for the meditation. We've already protected our energy. We've protected ourselves. We've protected our intention today. And we're going to be talking about purposes. And I put an S on that intentionally. We're going to talk about purposes. I think we have one as humans, and having a consciousness, that we have one that we can always kind of think of maybe as almost a prime directive. So I have a lot of people that they want me to do private tarot reads about what their purpose is, or they say they just feel like they're not fulfilling it or don't know what it is. And that's why I thought it would be very good to have this be the topic of our meditation, because we have at least one, and many of us have multiple purposes that you just haven't gotten it into that perspective. And hopefully you'll leave today with a perspective of purposes and how powerful they can be. So I think the people that sometimes worry that I don't know what my big purpose is, what my life contract might have been, am I missing the boat? Am I disappointing anybody? Is my higher self disappointed in me? We just need to say, there may be more purposes that I'll come away with or learn as time goes on. Because if you had told me 20 years ago that I'd be leading a meditation and doing tarot reads for people, I would not have believed it. So sometimes our purposes unfold at a different time in our life or chapter. But I want you to leave here knowing might not know what every purpose I have here is, but I do know a few of them, and I'm going to do those to the best of my ability. And that's what the purpose of our meditation is today. Now, to do that, let's make sure we're as physically ready to participate as we can. Our chakras go from above our head down below our feet, kind of in a straight line. And so picture that line of energy just being open again to be that conduit of energy so that we can give it and receive it. It can flow back and forth just beautifully. Now, that means you need to be sitting up as straight as you can. And don't worry if that's not physically possible for you. If everything around us, including ourselves, can be created, so can a means of dealing with some slight curvatures or issues with straightening up for the chakra alignment. Do your best. Meet your loving highest power halfway. That's all you have to do. So sit up as straight as you can. And then recognizing that here where I'm doing this, it's middle of the day. We all have lives. We all have things that go on in our life. And sometimes it's good stress, sometimes it's bad stress or tension or, a to-do list that we've got kind of running in the back of our head. Let's make sure that we've got ourselves as stress-free as possible for when we give our energy and intentions. So a great way to check for that is your shoulders. Okay, as you get stressed, they come up, 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 up. And as you relax, they go down. Now, the cool thing is you can do it intentionally, and your body still reads it as having happened naturally. It's just like with a smile. You can smile and it gets those endorphins going, and it can be not a natural smile, but your body reads it that way. So let's do that. Let's put those shoulders down and tell our bodies, hey, for the next little bit, we don't have to be stressed. So put them down. It should feel really good around the back of your shoulders and as you stretch down. And even if you were already pretty stress free, you'll still have a little latitude in your movement and you can still go down even farther and just feel that stretch. And it feels so good. And it should, because getting rid of stress is always a beautiful thing to do, because stress is not a positive emotion and it just saps our energy and helps us to um, be distracted from what our focus should be. So that stress test, shoulders down. Now we're going to do something that involves a little visualizing. And that is, again, we got our chakras as aligned as possible. That energy flow is as natural as possible. Well, we breathe in oxygen and out carbon dioxide, and we breathe in sometimes pollutants or things like that. So let's do 3 what they call cleansing breaths. Okay. Now, the first one, I want you to visualize it going in. If you are pretty adept at this, even on the first one, you should be great. If not, you should notice an improvement on your second one. But you can, again, visualize it intentionally and make it happen. So your first breath in is going to be, first of all, every breath we have now, no matter what kind of environment you're in, you are going to have the intention that you are breathing in the most pure, rarefied, wonderful, health-giving, life-giving breath possible on all of these breaths in. And their purpose is to clean away any residue of negativity that may still be lingering in you or on you or being sent to you or intended for you. So you're going to kind of picture it just kind of cleaning the walls of your inner self as you breathe in that air. So then the second breath in, same process, beautiful going in, almost perfectly clean, maybe perfectly clean coming out. And by the third one, we're all there, because again, if we intend it, we get it. So the first breath in, guys, breathe in, hold, and exhale, picturing it coming out a little dingy. And that dinginess, picture it going to the same place you sent negative energy. That dinginess can also be purified and repurposed. Let's do a second breath in, same process. In, hold, and release. Picturing that flow going to the highest possible source that you intended any energy to go to. And you're clearing out those passageways. You're clearing out those energy fields. You're getting ready to just be a vessel of pure, loving intention and positive action. Third breath in, ready? In, hold, and out. That one was as clean going out as it was coming in, but I'm still sending it to the highest possible positive source to be, it can push the rest of the way. All right, we are ready to begin the meditation, officially begin it, although it officially began as soon as we started working with energy, removing negativity, protecting our energy, etc. But now we're going to look at the focus. Again, as I said, our focus today is on purposes. And I wanted to share with you, I think there's one common purpose that I think everybody should resonate with, should agree with. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. So if I am wrong for you in your instance, then please just, sit this one out. But I think one big purpose we have is to be the best possible version of ourselves that we can be. I think that is our purpose. In other words, don't get mired into what could have been, what should have been, what I did wrong. Just saying, well, today I'm going to be the best version of myself that I can be. Doesn't mean you have to be fake, although, again, there's times that you can do things with intention that aren't yet natural habit forming things for you yet, and get yourself in that habit to be the best possible version of yourself that you can be. That's going to look different for everybody depending on your age. You may have young children at home. You're going to picture yourself just, sliding through different situations with, that you've done on your best day. So think about your best day. You may be retired. Again, think about what currently would constitute your best day in reacting to others, where we want to choose to respond, not react. In handling others and handling situations with grace and mercy, and just being the kindest, best version of ourselves we can be. And sometimes the best version of ourselves is not going to be all that kind. It's going to be someone that says, "You've hit a boundary. I'm sorry, but here it is." That may be part of what being the best version of yourself you can be would look like. So I want each of you to take a second here and think about, what would the best version of yourself today, as you are now, what would that best version look like, sound like, feel like, and act like? So again, we're thinking positive. On your best day, when you've been your best self, what did you look for? What did you look like? What did you sound like? What did you do? Take a second, pat yourself on the back for that best day, that best self. We all know who that is or should be. And give yourself that intention of, my job, one of my big purposes is to be this best version of myself every day. And your best version of yourself is not going to look like the best version of myself or anybody else. That's part of being authentic, which is the highest energetic thing we can be, is to be authentic. And when we're authentic with a purpose of being the best version of ourselves we can be, we are unstoppable. So take a second, close your eyes if you need to, picture yourself being the best version of yourself that you can be right now, today. Resilient, patient, kind, responding, not reacting, lovingly holding boundaries, maybe being affectionate. The best version of yourself that you can be. Now, let's move on. Let's think of others again, because we want this is actually that particular part of our meditation just served ourselves, but with the purpose of being of service to others. So let's think about that again, in all times and all ways. Whenever I'm helping you guys through a meditation, we're working with free will, and that includes what we offer to others. So if you would like to, I know I do, I'm going to be visualizing a few people that I love, care about, and just hoping that sending them that conviction of how important it is to be the best positive version of yourself you can be every day without giving up. Fail today, try again tomorrow. Fail today, find a way you didn't, because you probably don't fail 24 hours out of a day. Okay, but you don't give up. You brush yourself off. New day, new start. I'm going to be the best version of myself. And your best version of yourself isn't perfect. It's just the best you can be. And that best might improve over time. But we're going to pat ourselves on the back that today's best was this, and I'm going to take it. It's a win. Now let's think of that for others. Think of others, maybe a few that you care about, that you'd like them to have that same focus of their energy, trying to be more consistently, maybe on, every day, trying to be the best version of themselves. And let's just send them that conviction, and with the knowledge that we're not going to push it on anybody energetically. But if they would love to have that intention showering on them, sent to them, being incorporated into them, let's have it there, a gift that we're offering that they can choose to accept or not on an energetic level. Okay? So take a second, picture those people. And picture them being the best version of themselves they can be, doing it very intentionally and doing it consistently. And let's send them the energy that you can do it. We know you can. We're rooting for you. Hope you do it. You're sending energy out that you know is intentioned. We know it's protected. We know it's going, if it's freely accepted, where you're sending it. If it's not, let's have that energy return back to you and be part of your personal reserves. So you may send out in 10 directions, and on an energetic level, one of the people you're thinking about doesn't want it. Well, that energy is coming back to you, but the others, it's just going to be there to be offered, energetically incorporated, assimilated, and become part of who they are, what they do, and how they move forward from this time on. Now, one more thought about purposes. I've touched on it a little bit before. I want to talk about it again because it is important. We have multiple purposes. Think about the different hats you wear in life, whether it's as simple as being a neighbor, a coworker, a friend, a pet owner, an employee, a parent, a sibling. You have lots of hats you wear, and that means there is a purpose that's tied to each of those hats. You may not know on an energetic level, the pre-birth contracts you might have signed and signed on for. You may even sometimes spin your wheels worrying about that. Let's just intend that, I know that there's lots of hats I wear. Each of those hats has a purpose. And my purpose is to wear that hat to the best of my ability, to be the best version of that hat wearer that I can be, and leave myself open to discovering more purposes that may be coming my way that I just wasn't ready for, or the world wasn't ready for me to assume that position or take on that energetic task. But in the meantime, instead of worrying about what should I be doing and then doing nothing except worry about what I should be doing, I'm going to be fulfilling these other purposes to the best of my ability every day. Okay, so give yourself a little bit of grace here. Again, if you feel like there's a more purpose that you haven't yet discovered, it may simply be that it's not time. Another thing to do is to keep in mind that evil wants us to be stewing about things like that and not realizing that part of the reason and some of the most powerful contracts that we arrived here having signed just involved holding the light. By being awake enough to participate in a process like this meditation, by being willing to think of yourself as able to wield energy and use it, you have a light you are shining that makes a difference on this plane of existence. And some of us just agreed to go to a place that would be pretty dark without us. And seems like it's pretty dark even with us, but it's not. We're making a difference. When you open a door to a dark room, the dark doesn't rush out. The light goes in. Your light has gone into some dark and made a difference, even if it doesn't always feel that way. So some of us agree to just hold that place, to be a light holder, to be awake, aware, and say, I wish I was doing more, but I know this has value. Being awake and being willing to work on being the best version of myself has value. Being awake and aware, willing to be the best version of myself, and open to learning additional tasks that I can take on as a light worker, as a human, whatever that might be. Okay. And being willing to say, and as I learn more, it may change what some of my focuses are, or my beliefs, or how I approach others or view the world. And as long as it's always going towards an ascension timeline, an ascension path of becoming the best version of myself, evolving and ascending, I'm all for it. So picture yourself taking on that and set aside any worry you might have had about, I don't know all my purpose, so I guess I don't have any purpose. And don't think like that. You have multiple ones to be the best version of yourself you could be. And then again, every hat you wear in life is tied to a purpose. So it may not be the sum of the purposes that you're going to address. You may still someday find out you dropped the ball and missed a couple of them, but by golly, you can recognize and honor and do the others to the best of your ability. Okay, so again, close your eyes for a few seconds and picture yourself Superman, Superwoman, taking on those tasks. Picture the different hats you wear and understand that that meant I have a purpose for that. I have a purpose. I am a purposeful person. I want you to leave this meditation feeling empowered. I want you to feel as full of energy as you'd like to feel, so that anything you've given out has come back to you so beautifully. I want you to feel a little more peace if you think there's possible other purposes or life contracts that you haven't yet realized. Okay, you don't have to discover them all to do the ones you have discovered to the best of your ability and still make a difference. And again, never, ever, ever underestimate the power of simply being awake, aware, and trying to be the best version of yourself, being a light bringer to a world that is going from dark to light. We're all making part of that process happen. Well, that's it for this video and this meditation. I'm going to conclude there at that point. Hopefully you feel some positive energy. You feel like you've offered some energy. I hope you have peace of mind about the energy you gave, that it's protected and can never be hijacked. So that energy you're sending out, other than what we said could come back to you if it wasn't going to be freely accepted, it's going to go where you wanted it to go for the purpose you wanted it to go for forever. So we have not provided any energy for negativity at all, which is one of the reasons why sometimes these meditations get targeted a little bit. Oh, well. Okay, so I thank you so much for participating. I'm going to give you just a second here. Tess, thank you for the singing bowls. If you notice the little blue bowls, Tess actually has, we don't have any way with live streams on YouTube to have like multiple cameras and she and I aren't in the same location. She does actually do singing bowls for our intentions and provides that energy as we go. So just adding a little bit to the magic moments, as she said, okay? And so appreciate Tess with her singing bowls and all of you for participating. Again, we've had more than enough people participating to make a change, both in ourselves, for the world, and for those we care about that we gifted some energy to. So I thank you very much for being part of this meditation. I wanted to let you know it will be available to watch at a later date because it's being recorded as I do it. So it'll be under the live tab and you can watch at a future time. If I conclude this meditation before you have a chance to post a comment, save that and put it in the comments under the comment section once the video is there. At some point, it takes a few hours, but the live stream chat will show up because I did ask for the replay, the live chat replay to be available. So that is part of it too. So, and you should not be pestered by any ads the last few months. Once I realized YouTube was doing them, even though I didn't want them to, I don't allow any ads on my live streams. So as much as I have control of that, this should be a seamless we view without stopping for ads. I did a live on 8/8 that I okayed ad revenue and that found out later that they kept chopping up the video when they didn't cut me off completely, which they did. So hopefully this is just a seamless experience that you were able to participate with. And I thank you so much for doing that. Okay, I'm going to count down from 10 to get those last comments time to post. And thank you so much again for energetically helping us be light workers and make a change in our reality, in our world, and in the energy that is available here. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Love, light, and everything bright. I wish for you. If you want it, it's yours.